and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released last year in 2015. The fragrance we're talking about is called Kenneth Cole's Mankind Ultimate. Now, Mankind Ultimate, as you can see from the bottle, or even the name, is an actual flanker of an original, which is Kenneth Cole's Mankind. Now, I have not tried Kenneth Cole's Mankind, so unfortunately I can't give you guys a frame of reference if you have the original and you're wondering how it smells compared to the other, so this is more of a, I guess you could say, a review on its own, if you will. Now, the bottle, I think the bottle is a very interesting design. I like the bottle design. I kind of like those simplistic designs that have a little bit of a flair to it. It's available in one main size, a 3.4. I wasn't able to find any other sizes. 3.4 is going to run you anywhere between like $72 and $78 retail, depending on where you actually go. That aside, you can find this on discount sites for a lot cheaper than what you see as the retail price already, even though it was just released last year, which usually isn't a good sign. But I digress. You can get it, again, I've seen it as low as around like $35 or $40, all right? So with that, let's just go ahead and dive right into the fragrance, all right? Now, the notes of this fragrance consist of, at our top, we have citrus, cucumber, and water notes. For our mid, we have cashmere, vetiver, and flowers. And for our base, we have sandalwood, tonka bean, oak moss, and musk. So when I smelled this, even before I smelled this, the first thing I kind of thought about was the oak moss, right? Oak moss, for many of you who have known, the compound was kind of changed due to fragrance rules, and in most cases it isn't used anymore. So I was immediately thinking that this was probably a synthetic version of oak moss, or something oak moss-y, if you will. And I have to say, I do kind of get a little bit of a tinge of an oak moss type smell, which is very pleasant from the scent. But immediately when you spray it, I was actually hit with disappointment. Right? I was hit with disappointment because it smelled very much like a lot of other clean citrus type scents that I've smelled before. You've got your clean citrus, and then at the base you've got, you know, your musk and woods, which is an archetype for so many fragrances that are out there. And when I immediately smelled this, that's what I immediately thought. I'm like, all right, we've got another one. Not to say these scents don't smell bad. These type of scents that I just described don't smell bad. You just have smelled them run-of-the-mill all the time and everywhere. And so that's immediately what I thought when I was getting it. I will say that it smells a little bit more watery, or it smells a little bit more transparent than I originally thought it was going to be. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of getting this citrus note and these musky notes that we're ending up with it. Now, I was prepared for disappointment. Until I was pleasantly surprised after about 2 hours, where it kind of turned into its own. It turned into its own kind of a fragrance, which was pleasantly surprising. It kind of made a little bit of a break away from that traditional mode, if you will. Looking on Fragrantica and a couple other sites, I saw people mention and specifically say that this scent reminded them of Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce, which is another thing that I was going into it. I usually don't look at the what does this smell like section for Fragrantica before I do a review, but this one for some reason I had, and I had that coming into this actual scent. And this one, I have to say, I disagree. I don't think that this smells like Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce. One of the main proponents of Fierce is that it comes off as a very sharp scent, a very sharp citrus scent, whereas this comes off as more like an airy citrus scent. So they're similar in the fact that they're citrus, but the way that they come off to me is completely different. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a Fierce lookalike. But at the end of the day, once you get into the dry down and once this scent has been on your skin, it actually turns into a very pleasant citrus, you know, musky, woody dry down, a little bit more pleasant than you get from your typical average fragrances that have that citrus and woods kind of dry down, which is very pleasant. I have to say, and I think it might be because of that cucumber note and that cashmere note that's in the middle. Those two might be actually bringing it out just because it's a little bit different type of a wood, and it's a little bit different type of citrusy vibe coming to it, which to me makes a little bit, or at least makes all of the difference. I go about 3 sprays with this fragrance. This is a scent that I think is a great scent for the younger people. So by younger, I mean anywhere between, like, you know, 14 and oh man, people are going to start yelling at people, like 28 basically. Something like that. You're a young urban professional, you're yuppie, you've got you're a guy coming up in high school, you're in college. Those type of people, I think this scent works perfectly for. But if you're not of that scent, again, don't feel offended, and just, you know, wear it wherever the heck you actually want to wear it. Now, for the season and the occasion, I think this is a great work fragrance, and I think this is a great scent that you can wear for any season that you can possibly think of. Spring, summer, fall, winter, you name it, you can wear it in that season. It does have the power to last in the cold weather, and if you go light enough, it won't be too cloying. Now, the one thing on performance, I'm getting about 4 to 8 hours. It kind of ranges for me. 4 to 8 hours, I've had it go both ways. So it's performing pretty good. I mean, decently. 4 to 8 hours to me is a pretty decent range. 4 hours, not so much. 8 hours, good. Now, for the compliment-wise, again, took this one out, had people smell it. I did not get any compliments for this one. And when I had people smell it, they just said that, you know, I smell great. I smell like cologne, basically. And that was the overall reaction. So I wouldn't wear this one to garner compliments from people, but at the end of the day, I think this is a very pleasant smelling scent that is going to have people thinking that you smell good. All right? So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating a 7 out of 10. Now, it gets a 7 out of 10, and it gives it a little bit more of a nudge because of the fact that I think it does distinguish itself from normal citrus fragrances as you get into the dry down. So give this one a chance and let it sit on your skin for a bit. It's a good smell. It's a good smell. It, you know, has a little bit of that, I don't want to say original vibe. Sorry. It maintains having a little bit of original vibe, but at the same time, it's not an original fragrance. Like I said, it's got that archetype of citrus woods, and that's it. And it does not stand out. So those are negatives against this fragrance. But at the end of the day, it's affordable. It'll make you smell good. You're just not going to get a lot of compliments. So don't get it if you're going for compliments. All right? So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free. Send me a note. Leave me a message. Do whatever you got to do. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. And you guys have a great day.